I guess that'll work. All right, here we go.
Are you just trying to navigate adulthood in a world that still expects you to have it all figured out? Welcome to This Is 50 with your host, Travis Holmes.
Well, I'm alive. For now, I'm alive. We just went through, I'm totally unexpected, I guess. And this is the result of me not being on social media or watching the news or doing anything like that. We just went through Helene. I guess the hurricane, came up here to our area. It's not a hurricane now, it's a tropical storm, but we live just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, and we're not ready for these winds. We're not ready for the rain that normally that happens, when you get a tropical storm or anything like that. And so today's Friday, and Thursday night, my wife says, okay, we're going to bed. Everything's going. We go to bed. And then in the middle of the night, like around 6 o'clock in the morning, we lost power. She didn't say anything to me as far as, we're losing, we're going to lose power. This whole storm's going to come through and knock shit around. Nothing. She didn't say anything. And she's more out of touch than I am. So power went out like around 2:30 in the morning, like one of those flash, one of those, the power went out. And then came back on, and I looked over, peeked out of my little blinders there, and I looked, and the thing was flashing 154, 154, 154. I go, well, I guess the power went out about 2 hours ago. And then my wife woke up like around 6 o'clock in the morning, and only because our French doors that are on the bedroom, one of them doesn't really like shut all the way. You got to kind of really push it in there for it to click in. And I guess I didn't push it in there for it to click in. And the wind blew the door open, and she freaked out. I've got I'm sitting in daydream land. I got my earplugs in. I got my blinders on, and she jumps up out of bed. And I'm thinking, she's getting ready to go to work or go out and ride her horse and stuff. And I can feel her, boom, 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 boom. Our hardwood floors and stuff, boom, 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 boom. And then she goes, oh, shit. And I go, huh? What? She goes, the door. The bedroom door was open. I'm like, the regular bedroom door? Yeah, so the cats can get in and out. No, she's like, no, the door going outside is open. And she slams it shut, and she puts, I don't know, we had something on the, barrel of laundry or something. She pushes it in front of it. And I said, really? And I took my earplugs out, and when I took them out, because normally when I hear it, it's like, oh, yeah, the bedroom door is open. And I can't understand what she's saying. I just have to make out what she's saying. I took my earplugs out, and it was like, I was all over the place. The wind was blowing, and the power was out. And she's like, I wonder how long the door's been open. I go, babe, I don't know. I'm in Never Land. I got, I take my Tylenol PM or my Advil PM, and so we lost power like 6 o'clock this morning. And I said, so what are we going to do? Are you working today? Are you doing it? She's like, yeah, I got to work today. I'm like, yeah, I know I got to work too. And by the way, normally this podcast right here, the This Is 50 podcast, just to give you a little state of mind as far as when I do the show, normally I do it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It is now 5:16. So I have been in the house. Actually, I did a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'll get into that a little bit later, as far as I went out to, scurge for food and fuel and stuff like that. So fire up the generator, plug everything in, run the lines all through the house and stuff, and, get everything set up and, and so you hear that all day long. And then my wife, plugs in the router, plugs in her computer setup, and we got this down to a science. It's only one plug for each of them. And so she's like, all right, I'm live. Everything's live. The internet's working. My computers are working. She's got like 3 or 4 monitors in front of her because that's what her job is. And she's working from home today. Me, the studio that I'm in right now, is There's no way. I've got too many plugs. I would have to have like 6 cords up here to run the stuff that I have. I've got the lights up here. I've got the cameras that you guys are watching here. I know if you're watching this on the YouTube video, I've done this weird thing where the cameras will switch in and out automatically. So it's something I was playing with, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I have the soundboard that's on its own breaker, power strip, the computer, the servers, all that stuff. She's like, are you doing the show today? I'm like, babe, I'm not running all these power cords up here. So I said, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go grocery shopping. I'm going to do all that stuff that I normally do on Friday, go to Walmart, do my whole trip and everything. And hopefully when I get back home, the power will be back on. So we're doing our list, and she's, signing on and everything. And I'm like, all right, what do we need and stuff. And then one of the things she said was, since you're out and it's going to be a beautiful weekend once the storm passes through, do you mind do you mind grabbing me a bottle of the tequila? Because what we've been doing, it's my own fault. It's my own fault. I introduced her to margaritas with salt on the rim for her whole entire life. She never liked salt on the rim. Now she likes them. So that's what she likes to have on the weekend. But we've been putting like jalapenos in the margarita mix. Make it a little spicy and stuff. I think we had it on the cruise. I don't know how we got on this train. And so she's like, I got 2 bottles of the margarita mix out there that's all spiked and, ready to go. We just need tequila. I don't have enough tequila. I'm like, all right, babe, while I'm out, I'll get tequila. So went grocery shopping and stuff, and made my way back home, but not without, a classic Travis that something happened, and I was involved with society, the human public and stuff like that, and I don't know if I handled it well or what happened. So stick around. When we come back, I'll talk about that. So I'll be right back. Something did happen to me, and I say did happen to me. It happened to the household. And my wife was really, really worried about me as far as dealing with this situation. It's not an easy situation to deal with. You have to make a decision of what's best for the property, what's best for your lifestyle, what's best for going forward as far as dealing with this. And it's kind of sad. I'm just going to let you know right now, it's kind of sad, but I'll get into it later on. I don't want to make you sad up front. I just want you to let you know as we progress through this show. This is 50, which you can find on iHeartRadio and iTunes and Spotify, and we have a YouTube video as well. So make sure you like us over on YouTube at This Is 50. There's another guy out there who thinks he's cool, rap guy or something like that. I'm like I said, we're still not on any social medias right now. I do a couple other podcasts. If you're looking behind me, I do a couple other podcasts there. I think collectively we decided not to go back on social media until after the election. It's just easier. It's a mindset. I don't want to sit here and that's what's going to happen. I can post all the stuff as far as there's the other shows. I can post all this stuff as far as, hey, listen to the show. People are going to be so mindset and so narrow-minded that they're not going to even want to listen or, no, you're going to talk about this. You're going to talk about. So I'm going to stay off social media until after the election, and then we'll go from there. So right now, everything that you see and hear will be on TikTok. So you can follow us on TikTok. Be Podcast Famous is the name of the TikTok channel. So that's what we're at right now. So I do my walk, as you guys know. I do my walk 4 miles. I even told my wife this morning. After the storm passed through, it was like, I think 10 o'clock. By the time, all the rain clouds went through, we still had like big gusty winds coming through, and everything was, all the wind chimes are, she's like, take those down. They're driving me nuts. So, I'm grabbing, I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry. Don't hit me. Grabbing the wind chimes and putting them down. And I said, what? Well, it's It's 9:30, almost 10 o'clock. I said, maybe I'll do my walk. You're not going for a walk. She doesn't sound like that. She literally said, are you really going to walk right now? I'm like, babe, I need to do my walk. She's like, no. You're not doing your walk today. You got a lot of other stuff to do. Not that she's like, whoosh. I said, I'm just kidding, babe. I'm not going for a walk today. But normally on my walk, I told you about the guy. When I do my walk, I do a 4-mile walk down the cul-de-sac and back up. That's 1 mile. And so I do it 4 times. And they're building new houses back there. There was a gentleman, I don't know, I'll refresh your memory on this. If you haven't listened to the past podcast, shame on you. But there's an older gentleman. He's got to be like 83 years old. 83, if not, he's 93. I say he's 93. He's not. He's probably early 70s. Looks 93. And I see him out there on the end of the cul-de-sac. There's one house. It's a brand new street. So there's like 6 brand new houses on the left-hand side, and they're just starting to build houses on the right-hand side. And this guy, his name's Bill, bought a lot, and he's got it all marked down. He's got where the septic tank's going to be, because we're out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and all this stuff. And he's out there between the road, the cul-de-sac itself, and his lot. They have like a drainage ditch that runs around the cul-de-sac. So, the water goes into there, and it's supposed to funnel down and around, and then, back down the street, like what a city complex should do. And he's out there, and he's getting these rocks because they dug and put in a power line. He's digging out there and grabbing these big rocks. Rocks as bigger than my cell phone here. And he's collecting them. He's like, I don't want these on the, when they're doing my property. I don't want all these rocks in here. I'm like, I said, well, during my walk, I always talk to him if he's out there. I said, they're going to fix all this, so don't worry about it. I don't know. They haven't done it in the past couple days, and I told him that this needs to happen. And so he's out there with a hard rake. I don't know if you guys know what a hard rake is. It's a regular rake. It's got, 12-inch wide with a bunch of tines on the front of it. And he's just kind of raking these rocks in a circle. And he asked me, he goes, do you do this every day? My voice, not his. He goes, do you do this every day? I said, yes, I walk 4 miles every day. He goes, well, good for you. He goes, I wish I could do it. I said, well, you're out here, gathering up your rocks and stuff, and from the whatever power line they put in underground. He goes, yeah, but I got a lung disease. And I stopped it right there. I'm going, nope, not getting into this story. Not getting into his story. Don't care. Don't. You're 80-something years old. I don't care. I already found out that you're waiting for your mother-in-law to die, who's 97 years old, so you can afford to break ground on this property there. So it's kind of a weird Menendez type scenario he's got going on. So he's got all these rocks in a pile, and he's got them all, I'll come back tomorrow and pick them all up. So in the process of him leaving, day, 3 days, 4 days go by, they got a bobcat out there, and the bobcat's out there smoothing where the trench truck, dug, smoothing everything like he's icing a friggin' cake for the Prince of Wales or something like that. All the concrete's all, not the concrete, the dirt's all nice and smooth. It's all tapered and stuff. And all the effort that Bill did to get these rocks in a nice pile, gone. But completely nice and smooth. So I'm sitting there going, here's Bill, worried about these fucking rocks that are on the fucking ground. He's worried about that they're going to impede his, whatever they're doing on the property that he's going to have. He hasn't broken ground yet. And then I said, don't worry about it. Oh, I got to worry about it, And then this bobcat comes, 4 or 5 days later, and just literally just smooths everything out, removes all the rocks that he's got all collected up. Not that he's, going to sell them or anything. Not that Bill's going to collect them, put them in his truck or anything. But the whole effort, he's got a lung disease, quote unquote lung disease, sounds like cancer to me. And he goes out there to scrape all these rocks up and put them in a pile because he's so worried that when they break ground on the house that these rocks are going to mess up everything. I don't know his train of thought, but that's the conversation I got with him. So I wonder, I didn't do my walk today, and normally he shows up on a Friday, but maybe I'll catch him on Monday and figure out what he had to say about that. So just, just to let you know, the effort that you're putting in now might not be beneficial because there's something down the line that's going to be better for you. I guess that's my mantra for that. I don't know. My wife hates the water in sour cream. If you don't know what that is, give me a second. I'm going to take a little break and I'll tell you what that is. So stick around. I'll be right back. I got into a small fight with my neighbor, not the leaf Nazi next door to me this way, but my other neighbor who, for the most part, I don't see him at all. He's the Filipino family from Hawaii that's everyone's living in his house. And somehow, somewhere, his daughter, Jasmine, who at the time when we moved in, she was like 10, 11 years old, and wanted to save all the cats. When cats come around, she'd feed them and stuff. And of course, feral cats, spawn feral cats and spawn feral cats. And in the process of us here on our property here, a couple of the stray cats probably got booted from the clan over there and made their way over here. Show up at our front door because they know we have cats inside. And my wife goes, "Oh, look how cute he is. Let's feed him." I'm like, "Oh, no, don't feed him." Sure enough, 3 cats later, stray cats, not, they're feral, but you can get close to them type deal. They're used to them. You just can't pick them up and bring them inside and snuggle with them. So in the process of that, of course, them being feral, they have babies and stuff. So we didn't really make a whole big stink about it. When they have babies, usually it's back over on their property, and we don't say a whole lot about it. But there's one cat that's been hanging around us for a long, long time. And she got pregnant and had a litter of 4. 2 of them died. Actually, one of them died. One of them got hit by a car. Hey, man, it's not me. And then we have... the other 2 have grown up. They're nice and big and stuff. We've named them. And then my wife goes, "Okay, when they get old enough, the 2 kittens get old enough, we're going to have a spade and neuter because it's boy and girl. And we're going to take mama in to have her spade and neutered." And I said, yeah, that'll be fine. Well, I can do that, And the babies, you can pick them up and stuff. They're not as feral. You can pick them up and pet them, but they don't want to be held too long. Get off me. All of a sudden, I was doing another show up here, and I go downstairs because we're above the studio's above the garage and stuff. And I heard me, little baby meows. I'm like going, where the fuck is this coming from? In our side-by-side, Mama Cat had 4 more kittens within a span of less than 9 weeks. Now, Mama Cat has been with us for almost 2 years, 2.5 years. This is the first time she's had, third time. The first batch she had, they all died. Second batch, she took care of them. The third batch, they just happened. So, text my neighbor next door, Filipino guy. "Hey, man, we need to talk." And he's like, "What's up, man?" And he called me like right away. And he's a younger guy. He's probably, early 30s or, late 30s and stuff. "Yeah, what's going on?" And his English is kind of broken, being, Filipino in Hawaii. And I go, "Man, you got to do something with your cats over there." Yeah, we got a lot of them over there." And I go, "Yeah. And I took a picture of the cats, the mama kitten or mama cat with 4 more kittens. And I go, "Yeah, this just happened today on our property. I've got 4 more kittens here." I said, "I can't keep doing this, man." "Oh, those aren't ours. We don't even have a cat that color." Bullshit. I didn't say bullshit. because when I go for my walk, I have to walk by his house, and I see all these little kittens running around his house willy-nilly style. I said, man, I don't know whose cats they are. I said, I know there's a lot of cats that come from your side of the property. We didn't have these cats before, and so you need to do something about this, or I will. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, they just keep popping up type deal, you know. I said, okay, fine. Click, boop. Now, this is 7 o'clock at night, and I've been since 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I'm like, next morning I'm like, what did I say to him? I said, I know I didn't say anything bad to him. I know I didn't. I just told him, I know in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking, I know I said something bad to him. Not bad, but basically, hey, look, man, you need to fix this shit. I'm tired of dealing with it. So I don't know. The next morning I woke up, I was like, my wife goes, did you call him? I said, yeah, I kind of took care of it. What'd he say? I don't remember. I don't remember what I said. I said something. But the good thing is, because I might use my phone for business practices and stuff, I record, all my phone calls are recorded. That was Shane. Just texted me. All my phone calls are recorded. Just for posterity and type stuff. I'll get it. The story goes a little bit deeper, but I don't want to burn everyone right now at the beginning. So stick around for part 2 of that saga. My wife asked me to go, or asked me, every Friday I go grocery shopping and stuff. On the way home, because we live in North Carolina, you can only buy alcohol, like straight alcohol, like, you know, not beer and wine, alcohol, at an ABC store, because it's regulated by the state. So she's like, I'm making my grocery list, and she's like going, do we need anything else, babe? And if you feel like it, I would like some more tequila for this weekend because of the storm and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like going, yeah, fine, no problem. This is today, this morning. So I go do my grocery shopping, get all the food and stuff so we can survive for a day or two. And then on the way home, the ABC's on the right-hand side, so pull out or pull into the parking lot there. Actually, let me backtrack a little bit. Sorry, Shane's been texting me. Hold on. Good power. She said, if you don't mind, on your way home, can you stop by the ABC liquor store? Yeah, no problem. So I take a right and follow this car, this BMW. M3? Does that sound right? I don't know. I'm not a BMW person. And there's a stoplight right before you turn into the ABC liquor store. So I'm sitting there. I got a truck full of groceries. Bought some plants and stuff at Lowe's because they had them on sale, discounted out, and the light turns green. Now I'm not one to, 1, 2, 3, lay on the horn. Let's go, fucker, let's go. I'm not one to lay on the horn, but I will sit there and go 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. I can still see the BMW still has his brake lights on. It's not like he took his foot off the brake and, he's trying to find the gear or something like that. Brake lights are still on. Where I got upset was on the other side, because it's a 4-lane split highway, at least 6 cars have gone through that traffic light since it's turned green. And I'm still sitting there behind this BMW. Now, let me explain this BMW to you. It's white. It's probably a 2005, 2006. I don't know. I lost track of my BMW inventory. Windows are pitch black. Like the tint would not pass here in North Carolina. And we have vehicle inspections here in North Carolina. It would not pass. So he must know somebody. Rims. He's got rims on the car, not the original rims. The white BMW is lowered just a little bit. He's got blackouts on the taillights and blackouts somewhere else. Somewhere else he's got blackouts on. So I kind of go like this. Now, I don't drive my truck a whole lot. My my 2022 Chevy Silverado High Country 2500 series, and I, of course, don't use the horn a whole lot, so I don't know how sensitive the horn is. And I'm afraid to hit the horn because I don't want to go, burp. So I just kind of, I'm feeling around where the horn is. I'm kind of like, burp, burp, burp. It's not a burp, burp, burp. It's a burp, 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 burp. And I go, oh, shit. And I don't see a hand, sometimes, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I missed the light and stuff, because his windows are all blacked out. You can't see anything inside this car. So he kind of, you can tell when someone steps on the gas a little bit. The back of the car kind of dips down a little bit and takes off. Doesn't put his turn signal on. I do, because I'm a proper gentleman. I know the rules of the road. I put my right-hand turn signal on because I'm going to turn into the parking lot where ABC is, and he whips into that parking lot. And to whip into that parking lot, you got to whip into the right, and it's a quick left to park. He whips into the parking lot and then whips around and parks in the ABC parking lot. Here I am. He's got a BMW, so he's a little bit quicker than me. I pull in, and I do the whole, I got to do a wide berth. Got a wide berth with that big truck, and I park into the parking lot. And I sat there for a minute because I'm waiting for this guy to come jumping out of his car. You've seen it on the news. You've seen it all the time. Guy honks horn, ends up dead in the middle of the street, that type of stuff. And I'm sitting there for a minute, and I kind of go, I've got dark tinted windows, but legal dark tinted windows. And I'm sitting there just kind of like texting and kind of looking at him, see if he's going to get out of the car and go into the liquor store. Maybe we're just coincidental. We're all going to the same place. And he doesn't get out. So I said, okay, this is my chance to go. So I get out of the truck and I do the slow, open the door. He's on my right-hand side, far right-hand side, probably 5 spaces over on my right-hand side. He's parked. Open the door. My automatic floorboards come down. I step on the floorboard, and when I step on the floorboard, I'm up over the top of the truck, so I can see over the top of the truck. So I'm making myself bigger. Like when they say, if a bear attacks you, make yourself bigger than the bear. And I step out of the truck, and I shut the door, and I kind of sit there for a minute to see if he's going to fly out of his car and come running at me with a pistol or something like that. Slowly walk past my truck, across the parking lot, and just so happened some guy was backing out, and he's like going, no, go ahead. Some other customer, go ahead in front of me. I'm like, all right, cool. Thank you. I'm waving to him. Thank you very much. Thank you for letting me go by. Like I'm a nice guy, because I didn't want this guy in the BMW come rushing out at me. His car's still running. And so I go inside, buy my wife the big $40 blue agave Jose Cuervo, whatever, clear, put it on the counter, and I'm still looking out the window to see if he's going to run over and do something to the truck. That's my worst fear. Someone come over with a baseball bat and just kind of have at it with my vehicle because I pissed someone off. Grab the agave, walk out the door, and then there's 2 doors to get into ABC. It's one door and then a security door, and then you go out into the public, into the atmosphere, into the wild blue yonder. So I sit at the door for a second, and I can see his car. And I'm like going, all right, this is it. This is the part where I either end up on the news or I make it home safely. So I push the door open, and I grab my bottle of tequila because I didn't want to drop it. I put my hand under the bottom of it. If you're watching this here on the YouTube video, put my hand under the bottom of the tequila. $40 bottle of tequila. It's huge. It's like almost like a full gallon of milk. And I'm walking to the car. And you kind of do this like here, like you're looking around, like seeing if there's planes flying around or just trying to, oh, look, there's a bird over there. Look, there's flowers over there. But in your eyes, you're looking to the right to make sure that this guy doesn't come wheeling out of this car and come rushing towards you. I got to the back of the car, the back of the truck, the tailgate. And I'm walking down the driver's side. I'm like going, okay, I'm in. I'm cool. Open the door, and I threw the tequila in the car, or in the truck first. And I'm still looking. I can look through the car, through the windows to see if he's going to come out. Get in the car, or the truck, sorry. Shut the truck door. fire it up, and I sit there for a minute. I wait. Back out. I go out of the parking lot, take a left to get back in the traffic, and I go about my day. Nothing happened. So then I sit there and say to myself, this guy must have been arguing with someone on a text or a phone call or something that was not paying attention to this green light, or red light turned green. And he's probably sitting in the parking lot to either extinguish or continue this conversation in the parking lot. I didn't know that. But I was so in my mind, you play all these movie scenarios and stuff. Yeah, everything was fine. I went home. He didn't follow me home. I was figuring that was the next thing. He was going to pull out and follow me down the road and bam, 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 bam. There's a shootout in Monroe County and blah, 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 North Carolina. Nope, everything was fine. But for that 15-minute transaction, I thought this was it. This is in my mind, I'm going to have a confrontation. Not a normal confrontation, but a confrontation nonetheless. Kind of like the confrontation I had with my neighbor. You need to get these fucking cats taken care of on your property so I don't have to deal with all this shit over here. I was the guy in the BMW talking to my neighbor. And then, sure enough, I pull up next to this guy. All right, when we come back, I have a new treat for dessert. If you're out there trying to lose weight, even if you're not, it's pretty good. I'll dive in that, and then I'll get into the crux of the story. I don't know how I'm going to handle it, so we'll see. So stick around. I'll be right back. Oh God. No, I'm good. Thank you though. Let me give you an update. Last week I told you I was going to a horse party last week. And the woman that we went to the party at is one of the, how do I put this? One of the people that are in my wife's barn. When I say that, when there's like a clinic or something like that where basically this professional trained degree, whatever, schmo shows up. I say schmo. No, they're very highly intelligent people. And they teach you how to do a certain thing with your horse, and they come out, every quarter or something like that. There's a lot of people that are in my wife's barn because we have a couple horses here on our property, but the main show horse, the $1 million horse, is over at a facility being taken care of night and day. And so there's a lot of people that are in that barn. I think it's like a 22 stall barn. I think all of the stalls are pretty much taken care of. So there's a good amount of people up there, all walks of life. My wife has befriended one of the riders out there, and I don't want to say she's an older woman. She's probably 58 as to where I'm 51. My wife is younger than me. She's 44. And the woman is a doctor. She's about 5'3", 5'4", little small, little frail, little frame, short black bob haircut. She's a doctor. I don't know what kind of doctor. I think like a mental doctor as far as, surgery, scalpel. And psychologist, I don't know. She's something like that. Mental doctor. She invited people after the clinic that happened this past weekend to her place because they just remodeled the kitchen. Come see the new kitchen. Come see, all this stuff. Come out and hang out and we'll have dinner and stuff and talk about horses all day long. So my wife goes, "Are you going? I'd love for you to go." I go, "Yeah, I'll go." So the party was supposed to start at like 6 o'clock. My wife, because she signed up to do like the meat. So I, did a Boston butt, pulled pork, not Boston butt. Yeah, pork shoulder or something like that. I did like a pulled pork, and I did my own little recipe and stuff, and I didn't put a whole lot of ingredients in it because a lot of horse people like, I can't have gluten, I can't have this, whatever. Fucking weirdos. So I just did a pulled pork with a basic vinaigrette seasoning, North Carolina barbecue type deal. And I said to my wife as we're driving over there, I'm like, well, what's happening with everyone? Who's going to be there? That type of stuff. So we get there. We're the first ones there because my wife wanted to help her set up. And so we get there and we drop off the meat. All right, put it in the crock pot, plug it in. All right, we got 9 pounds of pulled pork ready for everybody. Is there anything we need to do to help you set up or anything like that? And she's like, no. Now, she has a husband, and they're a couple that have adopted a daughter from overseas. So they have an adopted daughter. I think she's like 13 or 14 years old. Cute girl, 13, 14 years old. So that's their relationship. So we're sitting there, and 5:30 rolls around. She's like, why isn't anyone here? You have to understand, the clinic's still going on. People are wrapping it up. Well, they wrapped it up at 3 o'clock. They should be here by now. Well, some of them have to go home and shower. They've been on horses all fucking day long. This is me in my mind talking, not out loud, of course. If I was to talk like that, I wouldn't be invited anywhere. And then it's a 45-minute drive to get to your place. Do you understand that we all live out in the middle of fucking nowhere? We do. It's, even here where we're at. We're 60 minutes, if not 45 miles from Charlotte. 5:30, 6 o'clock rolls around. Nobody's here yet. Nobody wants to come. Nobody's coming. I'm so upset. Nobody's coming. No, you don't understand. So it's me and my wife, her husband, who's completely detached from the whole thing, and the stepdaughter, or the adopted daughter. And they're playing phone video games. I don't know. They're weird. They're their own little society in itself. So my wife and the doctor woman, are discussing stuff and talking about stuff and horse stuff, and I'm just kind of like blanking, kind of like looking at the property. Oh, this is nice. This doctor's home. This is nice. And looking at the kitchen. Oh, this is the kitchen. Oh, this is a nice kitchen. It's kind of a weird setup. All right, but I'll go with it. I didn't get a walkthrough on the house. I didn't get anything. Just kind of like, here's the house. Here's the kitchen. Well, let's go sit in the back porch, backyard, back a deck, whatever it is. And then people started showing up. We had a total of 11 people at this dinner, okay? I made 9 pounds of pulled pork, brought that. Someone was instructed to bring buns, so they brought 2 packs of buns, which is 16 buns, right? And then that's it. Everyone else didn't bring a goddamn thing other than their fucking fat ass. I say fat ass because they didn't put anything into it. So the doctor goes, well, I've got potato salad in there. I'm like, oh, cool, potato salad. So we have something else. She brings out a potato salad, and then she goes, and my daughter, the adopted daughter, made brownies. One of those, Betty Crocker, mix and pour type thing. Made brownies. And that was it. That was it. So between the 11 people and at this dinner, we only had pulled pork, potato salad, which was garbage. She used cucumbers and yogurt. Potatoes, cucumbers, and yogurt. I know. I don't know. Is that something healthy for you? I don't know. And 16 buns. That's not even enough for everyone to have two sandwiches if you were starving. And the thing is, 2 people called out and said they weren't going to be there. When we were done, granted, we still had a good 4 or 5 pounds of pulled pork left, only because all the buns ran out. No, they didn't have, what were they going to do? Walk around, freaking pulled pork sandwich in their hand with no, if you're watching me on the video here, just right out of their hand. And the potato salad was garbage. It was gone, though. Everyone was eating because they were first starving. They'd been at this clinic all day long. And then they ran out of buns. Everyone had their more than their enough. And I was just like going, this is horrible. And to wrap it all up, not the show, but the dinner party, they wanted to make s'mores out there on a fire pit. And I'm like, oh, I hate s'mores. I absolutely cannot stand s'mores. And they're out there, oh, you want us to cook now? You want us to cook our own dessert, type deal. We've eaten all the food. You barely got enough food to service everybody. And now we got to cook our own dessert. I'd be pissed. I'd be taking that steak, with the marshmallow on it, make it flaming hot and stick it right in fucking someone's eyeball or something. Make a horror movie out of it. It was just horrible. And on the way home, of course, I'm sitting there and I had a few brewskis on the way home. Not on the way home, but on the way home, I had them. I drank them at the party and driving home. And I'm sitting there in my mind, I'm playing the whole night back, and I go, how come she didn't show us the rest of her house? My wife, was that the only food that they had? That was it? My wife, yeah, I know, honey, I know. It's a good thing the other two people didn't show up. There wouldn't have been enough potato salad. I know, honey. And she didn't even, I don't know. In the morning, my wife goes, honey, talking to me, you came from a culture where you entertained all the time. You will put yourself in front of everyone else if you have a party. I've noticed that when we have, dinners and stuff like here, with family and stuff, even down in Florida, you make sure that everyone's okay the whole entire time. Can I get you anything? Do you need anything else? Is that hot enough for you? Is that cold enough for you? Hey, there's more desserts over here. You always have a plan. This woman, the doctor, was basically like sitting on the back porch with a glass of wine, was like going, hey, that's all I got. Enjoy yourself. So it was just a weird dinner. Probably why I don't get invited to more. But one of the things that the doctor made was potato salad using yogurt and potatoes and, I don't know, cucumbers and stuff. My wife, you ever open up a container of yogurt? After you've opened it, you've taken a couple out. If you open it up and there's that liquid water in there, she will dump that out every single time. She will take it and put the lid on the thing and drain it like it's freaking, pickles or something. She'll drain it. And then start eating the yogurt. She'll do the same thing with sour cream. I'm like, what are you doing? This is gross. I'm like, that's part of the sour cream. That's part of the yogurt. Stick your goddamn spoon in there, stir that shit up, get the moisture in there, and then you can eat it. It's good for you. It's got bromine in it. I made that up. I don't know what it's got in it. But do you know anyone that will sit there and take the yogurt, and if it's got that water in it, they won't touch it? It's bad. It's gone bad. No. Or they'll pour it out and then eat the yogurt. Why would you do that? That's part of the whole thing. It's like having all natural. You ever seen all natural peanut butter? It's like having all natural peanut butter and the oil separates. You don't pour that oil off. You'll be sitting there eating freaking sand out of the bottom of the thing. You take that oil and you spoon it around and stir it up in the peanut butter to get it all rehydrated, reactivated with all that lube that's in there. So it's just one of those things. My wife's always done it, and she gets mad at me because I'll take a spoon and I'll stir it up, whether it's yogurt or sour cream or mayonnaise. I know mayonnaise doesn't separate, but I'll stir the sour cream up real nice and good. I'll get it nice and I'll take the spoon out and I'll go like this. If you're watching this on the YouTube video, delicious. She's like, gross. Yogurt, same way. But yogurt, you can eat it by itself. And then one thing I've been trying to eat, I've been doing well on it with the new diet and stuff. Not a diet, but just watching what I eat, is cottage cheese. I do salt and pepper on cottage cheese. Little bowl, little cottage cheese, salt and pepper. Eat that. My wife does the mandarin oranges on it. So that's the latest on the party and what we've been eating for the last couple days or so. When we come back, if you don't want to listen to this part, I'm going to try to make it as not graphic, but I need to let you know that I was doing the best for what was best for us. And I'll dive into that when we come back. So stick around. I'll be right back. in a weird sort of way, this is going to get weird. This is going to get real weird. I've been watching the Menendez, they call it Monsters, plural. The Menendez thing on Netflix. And it gets kind of graphic. I mean, detailed graphic type stuff. And there's a scene there. If you can make it to episode 5, it's called The Hurt Man. And I was halfway through it. That episode, I think it's like a 45-minute episode. About 15 minutes into the episode, I'm thinking to myself, this is uncut. This is one long, uncut shot. And I don't know if it's episode 5, but it's called The Hurt Man. And I forget who it is. It's Eric or Lyle. The one that is kind of, gay or something like that. And his attorney. And the shot is over the attorney's right shoulder looking at the Menendez brother. And it's a long, long dialogue between the two of them. And as the shot or the scene progresses, the camera, make sure I'm on the right video here if you're watching this here on YouTube, the camera slowly, I mean ever so slightly, slowly pans in. So by the time you're done with the episode, you are literally on the Menendez brothers' face. Starts way back here and just slowly over the 45-minute. I didn't realize it, like I said, until like 15, 20 minutes into it, that this was going on. I'm like this is a really, really long scene. No cuts, no edits. Now, granted, I went to school for film and theater production, so I was kind of looking for the shadow, the glimpse, the cut, where they tried to hide it. I couldn't find it. So they did a good job doing that. But one of the things that he was talking about during this confession while I was locked up, not to blow anything, well, I didn't mean to say blow anything because that's weird in the show itself. He said that he used to put cinnamon in his dad's stuff because it made things taste better. I'm going to leave it at that because it gets really, really graphic. I'm telling you, the whole series is graphic as far as like details of stuff that was going on. But in the back of my mind, because I've been eating yogurt and peanut butter and kind of putting it in the refrigerator and letting it chill and stuff, and I was like going, cinnamon on top of yogurt and peanut butter. That sounds pretty good. So, in a weird third-party attachment, I'm going to say Lyle, I forget who it is. It's the younger one of the two. Says that he was putting cinnamon in his dad's coffee, in his dad's whatever he could do to make his dad's taste better because of the abuse that they went through. And I was like sitting there going, well, maybe I should look into that. Not that I was, I know I'm getting on the same highway that they're on. But I was like, that sounds good. Putting cinnamon and stuff on my peanut butter and yogurt. So that's what I've been doing and mixing the yogurt up and stuff. So we have a stray cat that came over 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, if not 3 years ago. Probably 3 years ago because my dad's been here 2 years. And my dad goes, what's the name of that cat? And the name of the cat was called Mini-Me. And the reason why we called it Mini-Me is because that cat kind of resembled one of the cats that we had inside the house. Long hair, gray cat, but it had almost like that, shut up. It had that Persian cat snout, like a short snout. So my wife goes, he's so cute. She's so cute. We'll feed him, feed her, and we'll take care of her. So 3 years go by, and we've been taking care of the cat, not taking care of like physically, like taking to the vet or anything like that. We put food out there. It was a wild cat. It would leave and then come back and leave and come back, and finally figured out this is where I live now. Now, my neighbor next door, the Filipinos, always have cats, and they're always like stray cats. They just reproduce all day long, and they don't take care of them. They just let them run wild. Now, granted, there are woods in between the two of us, and they kind of get lost in the woods or get taken by coyotes. So, nature will find a way to make it happen. The mini-me got pregnant by a stray cat and had a baby, and they all died. We tried, we found 2 of them, and my wife would sit up late at night with a little bottle feeder and was trying to feed the little kittens and, putting the, making the milk. We bought the kitten mix and all that stuff. And she must have spent, 2 or 3 nights, sleepless nights, trying to keep these cats alive, these kittens alive. And of course they end up dying because just the nature of the cats were not born in the correct situation. And it just rips my wife's heart apart. And she said, I'll never do that again. That is so much. It just sucked the life out of me, pardon the pun, as far as taking care of these cats and all, and they didn't have a chance. So about a year goes by again, and Mini-Me is pregnant again. And I found them this time. I found the kittens this time. And I said, oh shit, here we go again. Found them. One got abandoned. So I was underneath, my wife was out of town. Underneath her nose, I was sitting there doing the same thing, feeding the milk, trying to keep them alive, trying to keep them warm, because the mama kitten, Mini-Me, did not want to have anything to do with this one cat, this one kitten. But the other 3, she was nursing and doing all that stuff and moving them left and right throughout the garage and stuff. This one that she didn't want, she didn't care for it. And I was trying to be healthy with it, and it didn't work out. It passed away. I couldn't stay up all night. I had stuff to do. I had priorities. So it did not make it. And I let my wife know. I said, and all you animal lovers out there will go, well, a mom knows if a cat's going to make it or a kitten's going to make it or a baby's going to make it or not. They'll just abandon it. But my wife, you can't tell that to my wife because it's not in her nature. We have to take over. We have to take over when the mama doesn't want to do stuff. Now, this is going to get a little, let's see where we're at on time. This is going to get a little bit more detailed in it. So if you don't want to hear this, fast forward to the end, you can have a happy ending. So I'm doing the horse show, this one right here, on Monday. And, I've got guests here in the studio. We do the show. Show starts at 9. We're done by 11. Everyone leaves. Everyone's all hunky-dory. And then I come up here. I go for my walk because I do it after the show. Come back at 12:30, and then I start editing the show. And in the process of me editing, I go downstairs and grab libations and come back up and come downstairs and, grab one of these. In the process of me going back downstairs, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I heard the little mews. Mew, 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 mew. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Because I know Mini-Me just had babies, 6, 7, 8 weeks ago. Where's this sound coming from? Sure enough, I look in the side by side, and there's Mini-Me, and she's licking and cleaning off 4 brand new kittens. And I go, what the fuck? We were supposed to have Mini-Me and the other 2 taken care of once they got to age. Once the 2 that survived from the last litter of age, I think you got to wait, 8 weeks, 9 weeks? I forget what it is. So I text my wife a picture and I sent it to her, and she's like, holy Jesus. I'm like, yeah, holy Jesus is right. She's like, well, let them be cats. Let them take care of each other, or let mommy take care of them because she's taking care of the other ones last time. My wife comes home that night, and you can see that the kittens have been not moved, or were moved and then dropped. Like mommy was trying to move them from the side by side. I said, let them be, babe. Let mommy be mommy. Next morning, they were still on the babies were on the garage floor, nice and cold. And she's like, and of course my wife goes into panic mode. They haven't been fed. They haven't done anything. They're freezing cold because of the floor and stuff. And she's in the process. I got to go to work. You know, I got a big business meeting. I can't handle this right now. I'm like, babe, I'm not asking you to handle this right now. I said, I'm home. I said, this is my day, quote unquote, day off. I don't have any shows today. I said, let me handle this. Babe, just go to work. So she goes to work, and I grab the kittens, and I put them back in the side by side. And you know those hand warmers where you break the bag and kind of rub it, and it gets warm. And I put it in there, and let them hang out for a little bit. Hopefully, mommy will come back. Now, my wife leaves for work at 7 o'clock in the morning. Around 2 o'clock, I said, babe, no one. She's sitting on the porch like she didn't, like laying like a cat, just laying. I don't know if she doesn't have any milk. I don't know if she doesn't have any ambition to take care of these kittens. I said, but she's not taking care of them. We'll call the Humane Society. Call the Humane Society. You get a recording. If you're, want to do this. And at the moment, we're not taking any cats or kittens. And I said, babe, I don't know what to do. She's like, I can't do this again. I can't go through feeding these cats and stuff. And I said, well, do you want me? I'm waiting for your permission that you're okay with it. Not that, she's giving me the, the thumbs down, like Caesar, thumbs down. She's like, do what you think needs to be done. So I did. I took the 3 kittens that I could find. I don't know where the 4th one's at. And I had to, quote unquote, dispose of them. I won't get into details on how I dispose of them, but I did it very humanely. I actually looked it up online and how to do it, and it involved, CO2, and let them go to sleep. So they went to sleep, and then I told my wife, I said, I won't tell you, when it's done. She's like, okay, good. I said, but don't ask me how I did it. She's like, all right. She's like, but we need to get rid of Mini-Me because this is going to continue to happen. You can't grab Mini-Me. She's the one that actually ripped my hand open to where it's, made my hand swollen on the Alaskan cruise. Not that I fault her for that. She was being a cat, but this is the same cat that, scratched me and caused all the, $2,000 worth of, medical bills on the Alaskan cruise. And she goes, Mini-Me has to go. I said, I know. I'll take care of it. So the kittens are taken care of. And I made one final attempt to marry the Mini-Me and the kittens together before I made this decision. Mini-Me was laying on the back porch, just laying there sunning. And I brought all the kittens to her and laid the kittens at Mini-Me's belly to see if they would latch on. Mini-Me jumped up, took off, and normally she lives on the back porch, took off into the woods. So that's when I made my decision on the kittens. 2-3 hours go by. I see Mini-Me kind of making her way back up from the woods on the backside of our property. And she's sat herself on top of one of the fence rails. Now, Mini-Me, you can't grab her because she'll scratch you up and your hand will be infected. So I grabbed I got a .22 revolver, and I'm probably 75 feet from her. And I'm not a very good marksman, by the way. But I don't know if it was fate, but I hit her right on point. She fell off the fence and hit the ground. And I dispose of her. When I did that, I thought that I was stopping her from having, more illegitimate children. And I didn't realize that I took away the 2 cats that we had from the second litter. They were looking for her. So I disposed of Mini-Me. And my wife, she came home and she was like, doing all right? Doing all right? I'm like, oh, yep, everything's done. I buried myself in the work, up here editing, beer, editing and stuff. Next morning, my wife's like going, all right, are you still okay? I'm like going, yeah, I'm okay. I said, I'll get this out. Don't worry. I'll get this out. And that's why, one of the things why I do this show is this is therapy for, everything that goes on here in my life. Not this bad, just normally it's the little things about honking a horn at a guy at a traffic light and my wife pouring water out of the sour cream. It never got this heavy. I'd like to thank you for listening to me work through all this stuff. Okay? See you. Bye.